Hello, I'm Debs and welcome to Debs Made This. This is my 2022 review. Yes, I know it's February. Right, hello. So apologies, I've woken up with a bit of a cold, so I look a bit grotty and I sound a little bit grotty, but I need to get this done. This has to be recorded. I have had things sitting around the sewing room waiting to do this video for, I don't know, quite a long time, at least 4 weeks, probably longer. So we'll just crack on. So what I'm going to do is to go through my summary of the year and the things that didn't quite get sorted from the plans that I had for last year, and my 5 hero pieces and my 5 misses. I'm not going to say fails, my 5 that might need another go. So if that's what interests you, please stay tuned. So 2022, I made 66 items. And I know that sounds like a lot. It probably is a lot. If you've been following this channel for a while, you will know that I disintegrated slightly in April. I'm an emergency medicine consultant and I have therefore been off work since April. So I've had a lot more time to sew than I would usually have, and a lot more reason to sew, I think. Sewing is definitely something that helps me if I'm anxious or distressed, and it helps me just to kind of focus and be calm and keep occupied. So yes, no excuses made for that. And I love it. I like to sew. It makes me very happy. So of the 66 items, so that's how many I've written down. There may be more than that, obviously, because I'm not perfect at recording things, but I do have my book, so hopefully so. I made 19 things for other people, which is definitely an increase. I made quite a lot for the kids at their request. And I did actually make presents for people and requests for people, which is definitely a step up for me. I always used to be worried about my finish and all those kind of perfectionist things got in the way. But yeah, I've managed that a lot better. There were more tops, t-shirts and shirts than anything else, which isn't a surprise. That kind of spans a lot of things for me. Also 5 jumpsuits and dungarees, 5 trousers, and 9 dresses. But there you go. I did 2 pattern tests and made 1 swimming costume and 1 robe. The robe got stolen by my 11-year-old, but there you go. So every year I do write a kind of plans list, but not, if I make like a make 9 list, it just puts me off. I don't like it. It makes it a task and it changes how it feels to me. But I do have kind of some aims and objectives often for the year. So this is a picture of those. And you can see that most of them have actually been ticked off. The 2 that haven't have actually been carried over at least 3 years. But I must really, really want to make them, mustn't I? So I thought I would share those plans with you because they are being carried over yet again. So the first is the Jasika blazer. And so my excuse this year was just that really I wasn't going to wear a blazer. I wasn't really going out of the house and I certainly wasn't doing anything formal. So it seemed a bit of a waste of time and effort. But I have the fabric, the pattern, the PDF is printed out and the adjustments have been made to my current size. I have toile fabric, I have lining fabric, I have sleeve heads, I have, apart from buttons, I haven't got buttons, but I always leave buttons to the last. So I'm all ready to go. I just need to find a bit of a push. So I need to commit to do this. And if I'm going to do it, I need to do it this month, so February into March, before it gets too warm to wear it. So I'll show you my fabric and I'll show you my toile fabric. Right, so first of all, my toile fabric is this. So this arrived, there's another section in there. This arrived from eBay and was pale green and I looked awful in it. So I dyed it. I dyed it in a saucepan, I think. I have very strong recollections of being worried about turning everything blue. But yes, it's a lovely colour. Some of the other bits are not quite the same colour, which is why it's a toile fabric and not a main fabric. But it is soft and it is lovely and it is ready to go. And the lining is this one. So if I don't make this year, I'm repurposing this because I really like this viscose. So that was my lining fabric, which I thought was quite pretty. No idea where that one came from. And my real fabric, so all of this has been sat under my bed. So the fabric is wrapped in plastic with lavender sachets and cedar wood balls in a plastic box under the bed, sealed, to try and stop the moths getting at it. There are some irregularities on the edge of this because it came from the mill shop at Moons. So that's a Yorkshire tweed maker. I might go another time, actually. Let me know if that would interest you, if like a visit to Moons would be an idea that's me committing to going and doing something. So this is the fabric, and you can see it has a really nice, like a dotty overlapped texture. It's not too heavy, and it is so pretty. And yeah, I really love it. So I need to crack on, really, don't I, and just get it made. And I think it's because the fabric is so lovely. That's kind of the common theme for me. Things that I don't make is something that's a one-off that I'm worried about like spoiling it. But like I say, again, eventually the moths are going to get to it, aren't they? So I just need to crack on and get it made. Right, the next one that's a serial bouncer is the Goheen Huxley rucksack. Now, I have, again, the fabric, the notions, the pattern, PDFs printed out. It's all ready to go. And again, I think it's just the fear of like not doing it justice. So I did, when I first was planning to make this, I made another rucksack pattern to make sure that I'd got my eye in. And then I kind of was just using that one. So I didn't kind of feel the need. It's me, it's a serial toiler, that's the problem. But then I have this, look, I have this Rifle Paper Company fabric, which is, now I have made a skirt in this. That's a fig and needle pattern, can't remember. I'll put it here and I'll try and remember to link it down below. So nice. Now, really nice pattern. And I did beautiful pattern matching down the front. Yes, no, and that's had a lot of wear, actually. That's probably about 3 or 4 years old. But yes, I want this to be that backpack, and I need to just get on and get it made because it will make a beautiful backpack. And I just need to not worry about doing fabric justice, I think. So they're going to get carried through, and they will form part of my kind of plans video, which might come at some point, you know. Anyway, so what I thought we'd do was to talk about my kind of 5 misses or fails or need more tweaks patterns and my 5 hero pieces. And quite a lot of these are actually the ones that are on my list that wasn't really a list at the start of the year. So I'm going to go with my need some more work ones first of all. So Ruth creates. My Magnolia dress is a fail. I shall put some twirl. It's been worn once at a party. I don't like it. I don't like sleeves, I think. So I spent ages twirling this, getting the fit right. It's a really nice pattern. I'm not sure really. A long tie into a bow. That's really perhaps not me. It's a bit girly, I think, of that flutter sleeve with a twirly skirt. So I need suggestions, please, down below. What can I do? Do you think I could take the sleeve off, make a bias out of the flutter sleeve, or just turn it into a cap sleeve, or a one that's like a petal that goes over the top of each other? Anyway, so have you got some suggestions of what I could do with this to rescue it? I'm kind of put off because I worked really hard on it and then I don't like it. And I kind of then get a bit upset with it and I don't really want to. So I could dig that out now, couldn't I? And wear it with a polo neck underneath it, or a long sleeve t-shirt underneath it, or a cardigan over the top, and just kind of wear it a bit and see. And maybe I'll try that. If I do, I'll have a look on my Insta. Keep an eye out for that happening. Otherwise, I definitely need to make that again, and probably the long sleeve version with a kind of sleeker sleeve head. I think is perhaps what I need. Number 2 went straight away. This is the Fibre Mood Ida. I don't have this to show you. And the issue with this was, again, the shoulder. So it's the same block, I think, as the Alice, which is a reversible sweatshirt pattern, which I've got lots of and I wear those. So it is obviously just in the woven fabric. It was much more obvious, I think, than it is in the stretch fabric. And so I just need to make some changes, but I'm not sure I can be bothered, to be honest. I have lots of Fibre Mood successes, but this just wasn't one of them. And it was just a bit frustrating because I kind of really wanted it to be. And I was trying to avoid paid money for the assembly line cuff top, which has a kind of similar vibe, but is excruciatingly expensive. Yes, so the next one is this, which is my Arenite pants. So I really, really, really wanted these to work. So this is a So Liberated pattern. It has, its features are these big slouchy pockets, stretchy waist, has like flat felled seams through it, so it's a really nice construction. And it did have elastic cuffs on the bottom, but I took them off because I thought that was making the situation worse. And I think this is just a combination of the colour and the dots, and it being a new silhouette for me, but I think mostly the colour and the dots. It just looks a bit kind of twee. I don't think I'm really a fan of polka dots. I mean, they're nice polka dots as well. Look, they're cocker ones, so they're like a little bit irregular, so they're not ditzy really, but which is why I thought I'd get away with it. But I really haven't reached for them. I'm going to put them on now and do a twirl for you just so that you can see. And I've, like I say, I've chopped the cuffs off, and I'm going to see if they get a bit more wear before I get rid. This is a pattern that can be made in jersey or woven, and the fabric that I've got is a kind of lightweight jersey that I think will probably behave mostly like a woven. Trying to work out where this came from and I can't find it. I think it was something called the Ethical Textile Company or something. Anyway, it's very lovely. It's got these wings all over it, and it's in like a dark grey. It's almost mauvey coloured. It's got like a purple tint to it. You can see it's fairly fine. It's got a bit of stretch but not splendid recovery, so it needs to be something that's gonna not be too form-fitting. And I've got about 3 meters of it, and in my head it was going to be an Arenite pants and then like some kind of vest top, so probably like the Helen's Closet Ashton or one of those, just to kind of make a faux jumpsuit. And I'm not giving up on that. I think we might get there, but I think what I might need to do is to make these again in a plain colour and just make sure I'm happy before I commit this fabric to them. Yeah, so that was my slightly heartbreaking, that one, because I think, and perhaps the other thing is, perhaps I'm just not cool enough to wear so liberated patterns. I bought the Hinterland course, and again, I'm just a bit worried. I mean, I've got the lichen duster, and I love that. I really love it. I've made Stasi a dress. What else have I made of theirs? But yeah, I really like her, and I really like her aesthetic. I have a bit of a kind of fangirl thing, and I'm yeah, worried just that I'm a bit old to be wearing their cool patterns. But there you go. I'm on it. Those Arenite pants are gonna happen again. I'm sure they are. Fail number 4. Oh, it's not so much a fail as just not quite a win, and I kind of want it to be. So it's made in this lovely coloured triple crepe that came from Sewy's Faction, I think. And these have been in my head for like forever, really forever, which is perhaps why they're just not living up to expectations. I shall put them on and do a twirl for you, and you can see if you can work out what you think the problem is. I think some of it is just that they don't fit very well. I think some of it is it's grown a bit because it's a crepe fabric, and it's just whether I can be bothered to make them again. I think perhaps I just need to give some of these things a bit more of a go, but they've just not seized my delight in the way that some garments do. And number 5, before we get onto the ones that I really love, is the Itch to Stitch Azores. So this won't be a surprise if you watched a vlog from ages ago. If I can find a link for it, I'll put it up there. I made this from a beautiful fabric that came from Lucky Fashion Dewsbury, the lovely Manjit. And it's beautiful fabric. It's a cotton sateen in this kind of turquoise colour. The main problem with it is elements of the pattern. So the pattern itself is beautifully made. It's very well designed. The instructions are fantastic. It's an Itch to Stitch pattern, and you know what they're like. They're fabulous. But it has shearing. It has shearing on the wrist and at the waist. And I really hated how that felt. Like a whole nother level of hating how that felt. Now, I have sheared things before, and actually they've all ended up being given away or repurposed in some way that haven't survived, and it perhaps is just that I didn't realise. Now, there might be a solution to this. So what I did with the one that I had was actually take out all of the shearing, and then I still wasn't quite sure about it, so actually it's been given to somebody who loved it, so hopefully it's bringing them some joy. But recently, Pattern Fantastique Lady released, I think it's called the Harmony. If I've got that wrong, I'll write it down. But instead of having shearing, it has channels of elastic, and I think I've seen this somewhere before as well. But that's an awesome 2-piece, and is definitely on my radar for this year, but might be a solution for when I can't do shearing because it's irritating me. Right, well, number 1 and 2, I'm wearing current. So I will put in a twirl, but you can see what they look like. So this is the Pauline Alice Ibi dress version F, I'm fairly sure. I've also made version C. I shall put a link to my review of those up there if you're interested in that. The only reason that version C isn't on the list is because when I made it, sorry for the woofy dog, I didn't alter the sleeves. And so I made it in this bonkers blue floral fabric, but because it's got a raglan sleeve, it doesn't have a fussy sleeve head, and I think that's probably where the delight lies in it. I have some fabric, some Lady McElroy Kingdom of the Cat or something, like a teal coloured leopard print cotton lawn, which is destined to become another version with the collar. We're nearly there, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. Numbers 3 and 4 are the True Bias Zoey tank, which I modified to have a shelf bra. I love this thing. It has not been off my back season throughout. I've got another one that's sleeping. I really like the fact that it's got a shelf bra, and yeah, it's top tip. The only thing about it is it's a bit of a faff to do that folding over the strap thing to wrap, which is probably why I haven't made more. I would quite like to make the dress here with my peppermint wide leg pants, which are my, if not my favourite, my second favourite trouser pattern. Now these were to make because I'd grown out of the other pair. So I had a pair of navy wide leg pants that I wore through the whole of about 18 months from when I wore them. They got worn on rotation at least once a week through season round. So I've made more. I finally got around to making them. They have a red zip and stripy pockets, and I love them nearly as much as the originals. So definitely a thumbs up from me, and there'll be more of those made. And my final superhero win is the Marilla Walker Anning shirt dress, which I have hacked. I haven't actually made the dress. I have fabric ready to make that, blue, rust and cream coloured striped fabric, which definitely needs to be that dress. But this was a shirt that I did to kind of toile it, really. I did it in some voile that's been in my stash. It's like a lightweight lawn or a voile that I used to line things with, so I normally have kind of a few meters of this kicking about. And so I made this shirt in the summertime, and then it did not come off my back. I absolutely loved it. I modified it just by making the bib short because I'm short-waisted, and then taking the length off the skirt. I just essentially took like this much out of the dress to make it kind of shirt length, and it kind of feels a bit like a dress shirt, but again, it's got a really neat sleeve head. That's obviously a common theme for me. I like things to have a neat sleeve head. And I love it, absolutely love it. And so I haven't made another one. I don't know why I haven't made another one, but I really love that one. Right, so if you managed to stay with me right to the end, thank you very much. Do me a like if you haven't done one already, please. And I will be back again soon with my 2023 aims and objectives, goal setting, kind of vague aspirations or something of that nature. I hope wherever you are in the world, you are finding some time to make and create if that's something that brings you a bit of joy. And otherwise, thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye for now.